Hi, third grade. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today. I had to go to the doctor. So you have a sub today, and I made a video for you so that it could help you with the drawing part of what you're doing. By now you should be looking at a whole bunch of snowmen. This is a fun project. Some of them look like ice cream cones. Some of them look like I can't remember. Oh, I did one with an alien being sucked up into a ship. But before we even get going about snowman, I need to talk to you about something, because doing these snowman, we are going to learn a little bit about this. Shading. And you may have heard the fourth graders talk about shading boot camp, and this is just an itty bitty bit of shading to get you kind of thinking about it. Now, what is shading? Very simply, you're walking around every day and you are in the, I can hear you saying sun, or if you're inside, you're under a, boy, I'm having a bad drawing day. That is supposed to be a light bulb. Not my best light bulb. So no matter where you go, there is light. You're either outside under the sun or you're inside under a light. Right now, if you stick your arm out, I'm looking at my arm right now, I can see on my arm, there is a light part of my arm and there's a dark part of my arm, and it's in the shadow. And shading is very simple simply that. It is drawing or painting so that you can see on the object that you're drawing or painting, there's a light part and there's a dark part. That's all there is to it. It's just putting the light where the light goes and the dark where the dark goes. What do you mean? Like this. For example, if this is my snowman, and the light from the sun is shining this way on my snowman, all along here the light is hitting, so it's going to be light. Back here there's going to be shadows because the snowman's body is blocking the light from getting over here. So when I go to draw this, and I'm going to use hatching, that's these lines I'm making, because I have a Sharpie, and that's how you shade if you have a Sharpie. We're going to do it a little differently today because we're going to be using oil pastels. I'm showing that the light's hitting the snowman here, the shadows are over here, and then if you want to get super fancy, you put on the cast shadow. And I know you guys have noticed shadows because when you're on the playground running around, you have a shadow. Next time you're out on the playground, notice, where is your shadow? What is it doing? So let's get going with the project. You need your oil pastels out. Now, if you don't have your oil pastels, I have a few extra sets that the substitute teacher should have, and she can hand out. I also have a big tub of white oil pastels if you just need the white. All of your sets should have that I gave you. And before you go telling her you don't have them, I want you to look in your backpack and look in your art bag first. Then she can hand it out. Now, if you need to pause the video here so you guys can look for your stuff, don't take too long, because otherwise you won't have enough time for art. All right, I assume now that you have found your things. First thing artists always need to do is think. I need to think about my picture. Is my snowman being sucked up by a UFO? If he is, I need to leave room for the UFO up here and maybe the beam coming down. So my snowman's gonna be down at the bottom of my page. Is my snowman an ice cream cone? If he is, I need to leave room at the bottom of my page because the snowman's body is going to be at the top. So take a little bit of time to think about, what is my snowman doing? When you have that thought out, I want you to remember that a snowman is a small circle, a medium circle, and a larger circle. Now, I want you to draw softly. Do not draw hard. Why? Because oil pastels are wonderful. If I draw something I didn't like say I drew that, and I was like, oh, I hate that. Or even if I hated this one I drew, because I drew softly, I can just draw another line around it, just like this. And by the time I'm coloring all this in, the lines that I didn't want, anything that I felt like I didn't like, they will disappear if you draw softly, lightly. Okay, I'm going to put my white down for a second. In your set, you should have a blue one, light blue one. Looks like this. If you can't find your light blue one, use the dark blue one or the purple one, whatever you can find. Don't use green because that looks terrible on a snowman. I'm going to draw the shadows now. Starting at his head, I'm going to go back and forth and draw the shadows. Same thing on his midsection, or his belly, I don't know. Snowmen are strange. They have these three parts. I'm bringing the shadow kind of underneath his belly because he has a big fat belly. And these kind of look like moons. In the other classes they were saying, Mrs. Moore, these look like a bunch of moons, and they kind of do. So go ahead and I'm going to do this last one on the bottom part of the snowman. Oh, I broke my oil pastel. I always do that. Now, I've put the shadows in. And if you need to pause the video here so everyone can get done with their shadows, that's fine. Now I'm going to assume you're done making shadows. I want you to grab your white one again. Now the beautiful thing about oil pastels is I can put the white right on top of the blue and they will blend together. Blending means I'm putting one color on top of the other and kind of smoothing it out. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I am coloring right on top of the blue, right on top of it. And now I'm going to color in the rest of his head. I do not want sneaky spots, because if I have sneaky spots, it's going to look like he has purple measles on his head. So make sure you don't have sneaky spots. You're going to see that I can still see that shadow, but now it's blended in with the white. Now, if I felt like, oh, I colored too hard and it got too white and I can't see my shadow, I can get my blue one again and go right over the top and color some more blue. If I felt like, oh no, it got too dark, I can take my white one. You guessed it, go right over the top. Go ahead and color your snowman in. Remember, you're going to go right on top of that blue part that you already did. I've laid mine down on the side. I think it goes faster that way. But it doesn't matter. You can color with oil pastels either way. And you can be coloring along with me. Got a lot of work to do here to get that purple. I don't want that purple in there. Now you can see he's looking kind of 3D, because that's the beauty of shading. When you put the shadows in, whatever you're drawing starts to look three-dimensional, and that's cool. That's a good art superpower. Putting some blue back in because I feel like I erased some of the shadows. Now, you've got your basic snowman drawn, and it is up to you what you want to do and what you want to put on your snowman. I'm only going to say one piece of advice from here on, because the rest of this, that's totally up to you what you do. The black. Use this last. The very last thing you will do is put on his eyes and his mouth. Do not use the black first, because once black is on there, it is powerful, and if you rub your hand over it, it makes a big old gray mess. So wait till the very end to put on his eyes and his mouth, and you know how snowmen have these kind of buttons. And if you're going to put buttons on, wait till the end. My usual next step on a snowman is I like to think about his arms and what his arms are doing. I think this snowman, I'm in the mood to put his arms going this way, because I just had a thought, and that was my snowman is going to be holding some flowers, because why not? See, and now I wish I hadn't put that button on there. Now you know why to wait till end. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my flowers he's holding. Just turn that. Turn my button into a flower. So go for it, guys. Have fun. This is a fun one. Do your very best work, and I will see you on Friday. Talk to you later.